over 30 years later, and just the match was just so fun to watch. It was just the proverbial, Flair trying to get his heel things in, trying to work body parts and doing the whole, jumping up and doing the crotch, drop to his leg, and just it was crazy.
He has several different routines that he can work in within the deal, and according to how long he needed to go with his match. Because as a ref, I was fortunate enough to work with Rick many times.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a lot of the 60-minute time limit draws. Now that is getting out and digging it.
Yeah.
And to be able to tell a story for 60 minutes, a compelling story that keeps people hooked.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and that keeps building and building and building all the way up to the end. That's an art to do.
Yeah.
And not just anybody can do that. And I was very fortunate to get wet. That's why Sting paid off so much being married. They call him being married to a guy.
Mm-hmm.
We can work with him 1,000 times. But you can see it in that match. When you work with the guys many times, like as they have, you get to a point, and even as a referee, because you work with them so many times, you can pretty much tell, like when you work with the Undertaker a lot, you can tell what he wants you to do just by the way he looks at you.
Mm-hmm.
When you work with him a lot, and that's what the kind of bond a lot of guys get when they worked together 1,000 times, and you could see it in that match.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking, their communication. Hey, let's do this. It's none of that. And they didn't sit in the back and talk about it for 8 hours before they went out and did it.
Yeah.
They got together and they talked for probably 20, 30 minutes and went out and did it.
Wow. You could tell it was such a well-oiled match, man. And just, as a fan watching it again, even now, and I've been working on the other end of the of the chair for a while now, but it's still, it still brought out my inner fandom. It was still fun to watch, and just Flair doing such an amazing job understanding that he wasn't being selfish. You know what I mean? Like he knew how strong of a heel he was, and he played that to the T. You can tell in that match, it was really to make Sting look heroic. It made him look heroic. It made him look invincible. Taking all the chops, no selling the chops. I loved what he was no selling the chops. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, that was awesome. His psychology is incredible.
100%.
He would. You have to give him props, because back in the day when there were territories, he was doing that somewhere different with somebody else different every night.
Yeah.
And with Juice and everything else. And I mean, they would work over 300 nights a year easily.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just be going. And like I said, every time he'd go to a different territory, they'd want to, he'd always have their top guy, but they wanted to see an hour.
Yeah.
And he did it with so many different people. And when you get an opportunity to do that, it gives you an insight to psychology that you take with you even after he's gone and to the next territory to work. That you learn so much from that, and that's why Sting became as good as he did. Actually, some of the people that he was paired with and working in top situations, and I would say mainly Flair.
Yeah, certainly, Flair. He worked. He danced with a few other people too. Muda being another one that did a really good job. Yeah, and so it was really good. It was just really the Horseman period. Tully, Arn. He worked with the Horseman period. It was a good thing. I mean, it started off like I said, him leaving the Horseman, getting kicked out the Horseman, getting jumped by him, and just the storytelling back then was just so incredible, and it really was a good culmination. And just we're going to end this, in this segment here by just your particular views. 3 decades, over 30 years later, Sting is going to be in a tag team match, but at the same time, a match. And 5 years ago he said it was it for him.
It kind of blows my mind to see him back in the ring again, because I told you once before, I talked to him. I was at an autograph signing up in the Carolinas, and I got to see him. It's the first time I'd seen him in years. I'd come up to him and we spoke for a little bit, and he told me that he had to get out of the ring because he had a neck condition, and if he landed wrong, it could paralyze him. So I'm really, really surprised to see him getting back in the ring at all. Period.
Yeah, it is. It is a pretty big surprise. Now I think Darby Allin do carry much of the weight when it comes to that. I know it's billed as a street fight and it's a tag match, so it doesn't seem like there's going to be much, just kind of in-ring stuff, and he'll have an opportunity to use bats and all types of bells and whistles and things like that. So that's a good way to protect him. But I would say that it's a pretty big surprise to see Sting back in the ring. If I had my choice, it would still be WWE to kind of right the wrongs of how they booked him. What are your thoughts, real quick, on how the WWE booked Sting during his tenure there?
I thought they treated him well. I thought he had an opportunity to go there, but it wasn't the right time for him. And I think him waiting as long as he did, it worked out for him well. And I thought they treated him well. I thought it turned out. I thought it was a good thing.
Yeah, as a fan, I did not like the fact that he lost at WrestleMania to Triple H, man. And that's coming from a fan. That's coming from Sting, my favorite wrestler. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people talk about that too, as far as
that WCW dig. These Vince was going to get every single one of us. Something.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people still think that, like, was it a WCW thing? Like, was it a final jab to WCW as far as having him lose against Triple H? So, but I guess that's something it's a question that'll always be pondering in the minds of people. Why did it happen? So, but ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Chris Featherstone, and I'm joined with my man Nick Patrick. And you just heard the Inside Scoop.